to faith, the latest trend. We talk it out from end to end. And if you've got something to share, pick up the phone, turn it up, Real FM.
Welcome brothers, welcome sisters, welcome to our program this morning on Target. And remember, we on Real FM 91.9, 91.5. We on We Noise FM in Brooklyn, New York, 94.9. And we always encourage you to subscribe to the program, share the program, like the program. Give us a blind, help us to share the program with others that may not be so lucky as you to hear it. And on this program, remember the number to call is 442-0175, and you can introduce the topic, you can interrupt the topic, new ideas could come in. It's an opportunity to give people a chance to exchange ideas and to do it respectfully with one another and to be tolerant to one another's views. We provoke discussion a lot on this program. We can't do justice to the topics because of the time, but we provoke the discussion. So when we make a statement, we would back it up, and we may give a couple of reasons why we say what we say. And we challenge people, we dare them to take us on. We want to advocate what is true. By our actions, we want to encourage other radio personalities to deal with the truth. Over the years, people have manufactured lies, and we believe we could change that if people want the truth. You don't have to agree with me on my opinion, and if you advance credible evidence, I'm going to change my opinion. While I wait your call, yesterday I was on the term integrity. And we have access to cell phones and Google. So I encouraged yesterday that people ask their children to Google what they mean by integrity. We might be hearing the word all the time, but we don't do. And it's all about the quality of being honest and having strong moral principles and moral uprightness. It's not a question that is strong on morality today. And when I go in Salaka and I see plenty food, all morality go down the drain. You have some individuals, they go to a little get-together, they bring food for you to nimble on and keep conversation. They take a roti and put in the pocket. You have people that don't drink alcohol, but when they get free rum, they get in drunk. You have people that speak about morality quite a lot, but if they're among some women, they behaving, so morality is something that you have to be consistent. We expect a certain behavior from people. If you're a teacher, a principal of school, a police officer, particularly if you're of senior rank, a senior public officer, a lawyer, a medical doctor, and somebody see you drunk with a bottle of confusion rum on the street, they're going to say, what's going on? If they see on target with confusion rum, they don't worry. They say, well, that's just on target because he's an ordinary man. But you have a big job and you have a big name and you have a principal of a school. The carnival is here now. And after the carnival over, some people will not able to watch other people in the face. You see some individuals who may be holding high position. The NDC may consider them in the higher social ladder. And after you watch their behavior around carnival, you have to hold your head and bow. And people have to be mindful. You have young people who might be whining today like plane and they forget all their clothes home. But 10 or 15 years from now, you might be a candidate for the Governor General, or you might be a candidate for some high position of politician, and all the pictures where you were drinking oil and whining like plain in tongue cock up would come to play. And they might not take you. It has happened in politics before, you know. They throw somebody's name out in the political arena, and then people start to tell you one thing about them. They don't put them. And they have to back. So we have to tell the young people, anything you would not like to have photographed, don't do it. We have a situation, job don't care. So over the years, you don't encourage job. You like job. When the drum beat and the shell blow, you summon, you are being summoned. But job don't care. So there are some people in the society, while they enjoy job, they wouldn't play job. In today's society at the highest level, obscenities seems to be the order of the day. I do hope the Prime Minister of Grenada consider putting a bill into Parliament to decriminalize obscenities. The Prime Minister himself has been inciting people to use bad word, to curse, to talk about your mother cocoa pad. And that is unacceptable. So since these words are illegal, I do hope the Prime Minister move a motion in Parliament and decriminalize it. Or maybe make it more difficult for the police to charge you for it. Say it have to be to the annoyance of 10 persons. No, it's only to the annoyance of one person. But maybe you have to make it more difficult. And that will help the court system. You bog the court system with charging people from the lower echelon of society for using obscenities. While Calypsonians, politicians, and other high-ranking individuals who claim the social ladder is cursing with impunity. The magistrates and them, they're following the law. And they say somebody had to bring the matter to court. But the Prime Minister should have been charged for using obscenities. So I'm encouraging him to decriminalize it. We have to look back at ourselves, I notice in the Caribbean, most of the leaders want to pass laws to put people in jail. And if you examine the prisons in the Caribbean, the majority of people in jail, in prison, did not have a good education. If it's one thing that is common, those in jail do not have a good education. And all the prisons are overpopulated. So it means there is a direct relationship between the standard of education that you have and the probability of going to prison. It's not that those in the higher social ladder are not committing crime. They're committing more crime than people in the lower rank. They're using more drugs. They're using a lot of cocaine and morphine and LSD and hashish and other drugs. But they are able to maintain the habit. So they don't have to sell the stove or sell the shoes or sell the battery in the vehicle and leave it idling to buy coke. They are able to afford the habit. So when you see Laba in tongue, he cannot afford his habit. Those vagrants that picking breadfruit in the night, they cutting grass for you in the night for $5. They cannot afford the habit. Maybe the habit is just $100 a day. But if they're working for 60 and the habit is $100 a day, then they have to hustle to satisfy that habit. Whereas the doctors, the lawyers, the intelligentsia and others, they are able to comfortable, maybe spend $500 or $800, $900 a day in consuming mind-altering substances. So it's not that they are not committing or consuming more drugs. It's just that they can afford to consume those drugs, so it is not clearly apparent in the public. And those in authority is aware of that. So we could change a lot of things in society. We could improve the education of our people over the next 20, 30 years and cut down on the probabilities of these people going in prison. If an individual have his wife and children or his spouse and children and is unemployed, particularly when holiday coming, he has to get money for his woman by the hook or by the crook. By the hook or by the crook. And if it involves holding up somebody or getting involved in predial larceny, this is a very common one, or selling marijuana on the street, he's going to do it. He won't starve. And that is the reason there are some schools of thought that say we must give people second chance. And we must provide jobs for people. We must make jobs. We must make jobs for people. We must provide a type of education for people. And we must have strong safety net programs. Anytime you do that, there is a drop in crime. Anytime. Yes, caller, welcome.
Hey, good afternoon, Mr.
Yes, caller.
Yeah, Mr. is about integrity. Alright, Mr. I want to mention 4 words. All of them fall under integrity. It is important for a mankind to live that. And the 4 words is honesty, truthfulness, righteousness, and faithfulness. This is what we need, right? And it's standard we should have to someone that stand for integrity. And we know it's very important to have that in you. Because when you have that in you, as God said, this is where righteousness exalts a nation. Sin is a reproach to every man. And what I am seeing right now, people who had some form of integrity in them, they're trading their integrity for the love of money. They're trading for the love of money. So it comes now like to get any work under this administration, you have to give up. That's the forward. You have to give up the honesty, you have to give up faithfulness, righteousness, and truthfulness. You have to give up that. Because when you see what is happening with this government, because it's a rampage in all ministry, and what you find happening, instead of the person in charge of the deal with it, the one that stand up and try to deal with the corruption, this is the people that the government fight. And the one who committed the corruption, this is the one that will be exalted. So they come now like this government exalting unrighteousness, and they try to diminish the righteousness. We always say right will always be right, wrong will always be wrong. And I can't understand how a leader in any country wrongdoing is happening in the country, and he don't dealing with it. He just seeing the corruption taking place, and like to him, is like nothing. And I want to say to the Grenadian people, Grenada was not so before this last election, but Grenada coming like a country now, like corruption is put under the foot, and unrighteousness is exalted. Mr. Pierre, I call upon the people of Grenada to compete matic. We deserve better. We deserve a leader that will stand for what is right, stand for integrity, stand for honesty and truthful. Because the truth don't need no defense. The truth will always remain the truth. You could speak the truth now. After 10 years pass, it's the same thing you come again and say. When you lie, you lie now, in the next 2 weeks you're forgetting what is said. Because every day you go come and change the story when you're lying. But you could speak the truth now and forever you speak the truth, and what you say you know the truth, that's what you're going to speak. Right? So I see no greater now need to be delivered. Where they had a prayer. But see, going to having a prayer for praying for the healing nation. The people who doing that, it's not a talking word. It should be a doing word. Right? When we say, let us pray for our nation, yes, it's good. We are a righteous, exalted nation. And what we need to do after, we have to change our ways, change our hatred against one another, change the government, change the policies. When you have the Prime Minister making statements, only NDC should get work. And the only reason why the other side getting work, because the real NDC don't know who is the right? And now we are going to pray for righteous. The government has to change the policies, change the attitude towards the way they're governing, and see everyone as a human being. Yes. And everyone needs whatever development happening, whatever we want to spend, everyone needs it. They need assistance from the government. So they have a blessing.
Yes, we always respond to and come back with religion. And it's important because the Christian religion impact in Grenada is the one that challenges us more in terms of integrity, being honest, looking out for one another, loving the neighbor as thyself. But you have to remember, the secular world is diluting the impact of Christians. In addition to that, Grenada is perhaps one of the countries in the Caribbean with the leading number of Marxist-Leninists, strong socialists. They will tell you they have progressive ideas and they don't believe in religion. So they have done a lot to dilute the significance of religion in Grenada. And in so doing, they have attracted many saltless Christians. So compassion and empathy and integrity is fast losing its stature in Grenada. Yes, scholar, welcome.
Good afternoon, Mr. Pierre. How are you doing today?
Great, man. Good.
Are these pronunciation factual? I'm trying to ask if this pronunciation factual.
What pronunciation?
I've heard you talk about the
integrity,
Christian faith.
Yes,
and you said it's been degraded.
I said it has been diluted. Christianity in Grenada.
It has always been diluted.
Well, caller, you better make a statement because when you ask questions, you don't answer.
Well, it has always been diluted.
Well, if it has always been diluted, caller. If it has always impact of Christianity today in Grenada is less than it was 20 or 50 years ago.
I totally agree.
Well, that is not so you don't challenge where you agree. Let's go.
I would not Because you see, the whole concept, I don't talk Christianity, I talk kingdom.
Well, that is a challenge, and all these things is just the devil citing scripture for its purpose.
No, you see,
the religion in Grenada, the religion in Grenada that is the most significant is the Christian religion. You have a small group of Islam worshippers, Krishna, and maybe Orisha. But Christianity is the dominant religion in Grenada.
You heard of the Roman Empire?
How does that affect the Christian religion in Grenada?
Anyway, that's a long topic.
Well, it's not a long topic, it's simple and straightforward. Christianity is the dominant religion in Grenada.
No, you see, you miss it. That's why I tell you, it will take us hours. And I don't want to.
Yes, so that is why we punch. That is why we punch. Because we have short time, so we punch.
Okay, so let me just make my significant point. In terms of, I just wanted to tell you that we have something called planning, and we have something called basic common sense that the government and the regimes and ministers should employ while they're in government to put things in place systematically that will help to alleviate poverty, that will foster a strong educational system, that will help to guard people from going through the so-called doldrums, right? So what happened is that we had an administration in the past who never saw that fit. We had an administration that just hinged on political rampage, just doing things wild and crazy. Hence the reason why Grenada is in this situation, because if they had planned properly, if they had a futuristic mind and saw the future, they would have put things in place. Look at the amount of schools that were repaired. Look at the amount of innovation that this brand new government employed, right? To do all those things, to make it a better place. So people, for example, the investment in technology, and they're talking about computer science, so we can help. In terms of fisheries, look at what they're doing in fisheries and all the innovations in agriculture, in education.
Caller, you want to tell me something?
You cannot deny those things. So I'm saying here, you are saying that what is going on now, but I'm saying if you had proper succession planning, then all those things will have been eliminated.
All right, thank you.
Sir?
Thank you.
You having a good day, sir?
Yes, man. Beautiful.
No, well, I have to agree with you on the first point, but I'll take you up on a different topic in terms of the Christianity and kingdom, because that is two total separate subject matters that we can discuss. Maybe
another time.
We can talk about that.
Yeah.
All right, Mr. Pierre?
Yeah. And I've always said to people, we are responsible. It doesn't matter which government in power, you know. We are responsible. Yes, caller, welcome.
Mr. Pierre, it is clear that this previous caller, is living in a bubble. He speak about schools being repaired, and he speak about the previous administration did no succession planning and they did nothing. But this caller is in a bubble. And the reason why I say this caller is in a bubble is simply
tell us some things that the previous government did.
For example, the previous government, the same school that is being repaired now was all damaged during Ivan, which was one of the after the major hurricane we had in the earlys, right? Damaged all of those schools, and the previous government would have put things in place to fix them. That today we have our education system operated. It may not be perfect, but things was done. There was a lot of things that interrupt the plans of the former administration, and one of it was natural disasters, and they have seen Grenada through it. Now, when he talk about like no succession planning, right after burial, how did Grenada get the monies that they got, over $100 and something million? How did they get it? It was because of the vision of this of the former administration that would have put things in place to ensure that what happened in Ivan, that Grenada do not find itself in the same position, right? And this is vision, and we see it come to pass because every year we have a series of months in which we call the hurricane season. The previous administration put things in place to ensure that Grenada could bounce back very quickly whenever there is a natural disaster in that capacity. Then let's continue to look at it. The National Stadium, Grenada is able to host back to back the event that they are hosting now because of the vision of the previous administration. That is why they are able to do it. If they did not build the stadium and they had listened to the noise in the air about too big for Grenada and why they're building this and why not, we would have been in trouble. Today, we hosting cricket, we hosting football, we hosting athletics, it's what we in hosting.
Right. Thank you, caller.
To back.
Thank you, caller.
Thank you.
And that is the spirit. When people call and challenge and say the previous government don't do nothing, don't wait on me to do it. You call, give them 5 or 10 things that the previous government do. The most scholarship ever given in any period under any government since Eric Gary days was under the NNP. The St. George's University declared Kit Mitchell as the Prime Minister. Yes, caller, welcome.
Mr. Pierre?
Yes.
Pleasant afternoon.
Yes, my brother.
And to your listening audience. To the previous caller, I was all what you mentioned there, I'm on board with you. All what you mentioned. Some people may take issue. But one of the things you have not mentioned is integrity in public life. You mentioned everything else. But integrity in public life is one of the things that is killing us here today. And I'm going back to a point I've made on more than one occasion. When you have a citizen accusing a minister of government of taking a bribe, detailing the bribe, saying how much he get, who buy the house, who get the contract, and everything like that. And the citizen is saying, if I lie, take me to court. If I lie, sue me. And you're not suing, you're not taking the lady to court. Mr. Prime Minister, what do you expect us to believe? Tell me. What do you expect us to believe? The other point is this, Mr. Pierre. 23 years of NNP. If you say they did nothing, then you have to acknowledge that 13 years of NDC, they did nothing too. It's not only one government that run this country in the last many years, was both NNP and NDC. So it's 23 of NNP, as you say, and 13 of NDC. So if NNP did nothing, then NDC did zero. Now, Mr. Pierre, listen to this. This thing about religion, you know what I mean? And when you question certain things, people quick to call you atheist and all this kind of thing. Now, listen to this, Mr. Pierre. When 41 years ago, I went on my knees and I went to the throne. And I call on the Most High God, the Most High, because I realize when you deal with the religion, maybe there is different God. But I deal with the Most High God. Mr. Pierre, I did not go through no middleman. And based on my 60-plus years of existence on the face of this earth, I can see the manifestation of the Most High intervening in my journey. You understand? So, if this is my spiritual connection, I don't believe in life after death. So, if this is my spiritual connection, and I'm dealing directly with the Most High God, and I can see His manifestation in my life, Mr. Pierre, if religion come in and tell me something that I don't believe in, and I say I don't believe in that, if you say to me, if you tell me I don't believe in God, that is okay. I don't believe in your God. You understand? I believe in the Most High God. Because based on what you're telling me, your God saying, I don't buy into that. I don't buy into that, Mr. Pierre. You know, so the point I'm trying to make here, look at the Bible. Look at all these different religions. As far as Seventh-day Adventists is concerned, most of the other religion people, they're going to hell in a handbasket because they're eating what they're not supposed to eat. But I don't believe in these things, Mr. Pierre. I don't believe in life after death. You know, I don't know how we could believe in life after death. You know, I try my best to live the best life, you know, and make my contribution towards mankind in this life that I know.
Have you ever had discussion with people in Grenada who are atheists and who are devil worshippers?
Well, I mean, I have been in contact with a lot of atheists.
Yes, so right, and
you understand?
Yeah.
I've been in contact with a lot of atheists.
Okay.
But what I'm saying is that based on my spiritual connection, when I went to the throne to the Most High, I don't deal with no middleman. And if I telling you,
but that is understandable. You have some people that have their own spirituality and believe in a supreme power and believe in God. But
yes.
You have some people who don't believe in no God at all. And you have people in Grenada who are devil worshippers.
All right.
And I've had the opportunity to have conversation with a number of them over the years. In fact, even now, I want to always have discussions too. You don't believe in God.
Yeah. So Mr. Pierre, so I'm not an atheist. Like I'm telling you, I have seen the manifestation of the Most High in my 60-something years of existence. You understand? I have seen when the flesh failed me. I have seen when I call on the Most High, no middleman, and I have seen I'm seeing Him manifesting Himself. So if you tell me that I don't believe in your Christian God, I'm okay with that.
There's nothing wrong with that. You don't
I'm
have
okay
to
with that
believe in.
because I believe in the Most High God. And I also find that, Mr. Pierre, I find like we commercialize God, we commercialize the Bible.
But are you concerned about some of the kind of behavior and attitude and insensitivity and uncompassion, lack of compassion you see going on in our society?
Mr. Pierre, listen. Sometimes when, I have traveled extensively, and I always say, we don't say how Grenada this and Grenada that. But I'm telling you, there is a breakdown in our system and in our society that I find in the year 2025 is really unfortunate. But at the same time, I want to make it clear to the administration here. You cannot get jiggery when you intend to do something that you convince is good and noise is being made about it. If it is right, it is right. You could defend right. You could defend right. You know, there is a lot of things I see that, Mr. Pierre, listen, give me a second here, quickly. Look at vehicles there, trucks traveling without the goods being covered properly. You know, without being covered. Passing through the tongue of Grenville every second. Nobody see. You understand? There are buses that carry, that moves the population. And the traffic department have a responsibility to ensure that every bus is in proper working condition. And they have a responsibility to make sure that every bus, I'm excluding maybe the newer ones, every bus supposed to come for inspection. How come every bus not going for inspection but still for all there on the road? It's a lot of things we have to stop. Illegal dumping. You always hear they talking about that, and I never hear they say they hold anybody, you know, catch anyone to make an example of them so the rest of the population could pay close attention.
That is why it's important for us to be talking about these things.
Mr. Pierre,
yes,
have a pleasant day, sir.
Yes, and I agree with you, and that is why it is important for us in the society to speak about some of the negative ills we see. If we don't and we stay silent, it could well come worse. For instance, several weeks ago, I was on radio here speaking about what is going on Bamboo Bridge. Now I start doing this work on the road and they run the pipe. I don't know if it's a 4-inch pipe or 8-inch pipe, maybe more than 4 on the road. Bamboo Bridge is so narrow. And I am concerned about the massive trucks that go to Livera with the project. Sometimes 2 or 3 of them coming up the same time. We spoke about it and say that NASA should pass the line behind the bridge. Well, they came and they put concrete on the line. I don't know what is the gradient, but trying to compare land with it, it could be a 30 to 40 inch gradient. So it's like a slope now. The bridge in Bamboo Bridge is narrow, and they use this concrete over the pipe. So it becomes more dangerous now. Because if this truck passing, you have to hold the bridge. I think somebody like me would have to hold the bridge, much less a man or woman who is challenged. Yes, caller, welcome.
Mr. Pierre, good evening. How are you doing?
Yeah, great, man.
Mr. Pierre, the supervisor on the road with the pipe there.
Yeah.
I asked him about it. Mr. Pierre, he tell me there you have to put it because what if he put it behind? I say, so why you didn't put it behind? He tell me he can't put it behind. It's in front, they have to put it. I forget what he said, what will happen behind it. So in front, he has to put it.
Well, I called on the manager of the board, Nawasa board, and the engineer to go and visit it and make a public statement. If they're satisfied and they agree with it, say that.
All right, tell me that they have to put it. I don't know.
Yeah, I try to avoid finding out who the manager's name is. I like to deal with the office.
Okay.
But how could you do that on Bamboo Bridge? They do the same thing on Paradise Bridge. But Paradise Bridge is much bigger and there is a clear walkway. So even the one on Paradise Bridge, people could walk. The pedestrian walk is relatively flat. And where they put the pipe, do not disturb the pedestrian walk. But the one on Bamboo Bridge, I don't understand how a company could do that. Bamboo Bridge is small, and it definitely affected what used to be the unofficial pedestrian walk. So they put concrete on it now, maybe a 30 or 40 degree angle. So it's difficult. If you stand up on it, your hand have to hold the bridge. Well, what happened to the elderly people? I'm concerned about the people who drink their rum and going home, and people who are challenged. Young men and young women could have them cross the bridge if they hear the song of the vehicle. But a pregnant person, somebody who is challenged, an elderly person, somebody on a bridge, God help them. So if we don't speak about these things, to bring awareness to it, remember, the government have a policy that they don't care, you know. The government say information is based upon need to know. When you ask them, they're not answering you. They say it's that. And the political activists, the politicos, go after you personally. Well, what society we going to have? You hear me speak with great regularity about the 70% of our children that go into school and not doing well. They can't pass maths. They're not passing biology, chemistry, physics. They can't pass English language. It means that the chances to get a job diminishes. We have a number of boys, they don't have license for vehicle because they can't write the exam. The girls have the vehicle. The girls have the license. The boys going and wash down the vehicle for the girlfriend. And when they bounce it, the girl could lead them, they could just get a next woman that have a vehicle and wash it down again. Now how do we prepare our society? Then we come on the radio and talk about science and technology and all kind of things. While we continue with the pussification of our males. While we continue with low integrity at the higher level. How Grenadians could agree that 2 ministers and a director or directors of the Grenada Development Bank have obtained money illegally from the bank. How could we support that? How could we agree with that? What society would we build? You see the increase in crime in Grenada. The police is also aware of the increase in the disrespect to the police. And the police challenging back and the police firing gun as if it's a joke. I warn them about the word stampede. Because when they fire gun in crowd and some children or some woman and big belly woman dead, the politician dumping them. You know. Yes, caller, welcome.
Yes, Mr. Pierre, good afternoon, man. Long time no get you, man. What?
Yes, my brother.
Mr. Pierre, I want to know, what is the purpose of the judiciary? Simply because, with all this amount of corruption you're hearing there, and nobody, they wear in their jacket, well pressed with briefcase, and none of them saying nothing. All this amount of corruption, millions of dollars in the gutter, and they live in gated community, and those that in America, integrity in public life, they ain't saying nothing. Mr. Pierre, we live a life between 1979 to 1983 where people could have do and people would have done and people did plenty things here. Let these people know that it still remains the same. Never mind, half of them went to North America and Europe. You know why they went there? Because they're afraid. They're afraid. But tell them, there's plenty of us here that remain here. We never go anywhere. And we're willing, ready, and able to do the same. Like the 25th, the 19th of October, 1983. Hello?
Yes. Well,
yes, man.
And that's why it's important for us to speak, because a lot of young people don't know these things.
They don't know.
And a lot of young people would not challenge these individuals who claim that they're in some higher social status. That is just a bag of joke.
I know. You walk up to them and let them know that you've been there. You've been there. You know this struggle. You hold one of them hand and you drag them down a step.
We have to continue to speak, hoping that people, by creating more awareness, they change their attitude. Because I believe they should change. Yeah.
Change? The clothes they change, not their mind. The clothes. We have to make them know. Make the conduct, because the conduct doesn't know. All the garbage you hear talking there, you don't know nothing what you're talking about, you know.
I always ask who sent Deacon. I always see Deacon as a man who come in politics straight for money and for a short time. And Deacon is prepared to turn billionaire and maybe go and live in Dubai or something till the money done.
Listen, he ain't going to Dubai. He go run there for a little while.
Well, yeah, he look as if, till the money done. Deacon look as a man that the only reason in politics is for money. He sees an opportunity to grab some money. That's why I ask who sent Deacon, you know. And more, it seems there is some group behind Deacon.
I tell you where they're living already.
Yeah.
I tell you, they vex with me. I tell you where they're living. They're living in the United States of America.
Well, some in the United States, some here. But Deacon is just a front.
Not America, Europe.
Yeah.
But one thing, tell them me, if they want me, come for me. But when they come in, make them real.
Well,
yeah. Because we'll deal with them drastic disappear.
Yes,
it's time that we stand up and let them know that Grenada, 133 square miles, we could stand on our own feet.
Yes.
We can want to be the Donald Trump of Grenada. Tell him no way.
Yes, thank you.
All right.
Yeah. I believe that there are a number of things we could change. You criticize something, examine it and see whether there is any merit in it. You know, you don't have to go after the messenger. So very few people could really take you on. I see the attempt to intimidate Jenny Simon by the government, the police, the prime minister. She has stood her ground and I admire her for that. And she has my support. Also, I reach out to her and say, be careful, because your weakness could die. And in addition to that, your weakness could also receive money for good relationship. We have a government today that it is widely rumored they're taking bribe. It was said very early. Yes, caller, welcome.
Good afternoon, Mr. Pierre.
Yeah, you had to close down the radio in the back.
And how are you today?
Great, good man.
Mr. Pierre, I love listening to your program. And somehow I believe, that's just my take, you, when I look at you, you could be an elder brother to me. You need to take control of the program. I'm saying that. That's my opinion. Mr. Pierre, we have some callers that are being paid to call your program and distract you. Mr. Pierre, I know what I'm saying. This caller in particular, all of a sudden, that caller surfaced now and is calling your program and another early morning program on another radio station. Mr. Pierre, that caller called a program yesterday morning and that caller was put in his space by the host. And I can't see why that caller would choose to call Real FM. And here I'm saying, Mr. Pierre, Real FM, when that caller is now speaking on behalf of the administration that removes the advertisements, the ads from Real FM. Mr. Pierre, here is what I'm saying. The caller is calling to promote this administration, the Deacon Mitchell administration, that they have done so much things in 3 years' time and what they do, and them is the best government, and Deacon Mitchell is the best prime minister and everything. You call it, caller, I know you are listening. Caller, I know you are listening. I'm wondering if you have what we call conscience. The same administration you call, remember, that is the administration that removed all the ads from the Real estate. Caller, I know you've been paid $1,600 to do what you're doing. You've been paid $1,600 to what you do, to do what you're doing. Since when that you are so interested in Real FM? And I'm saying Real FM. Since when you are so interested in Real FM to call with them? I'm giving you the challenge. I'm giving you the challenge. And the journal hosts 5 programs during the weekend morning. You so want to promote this administration? Call any one of the programs and morning. Sheldon Douglas hosts a program 8 o'clock to 10 o'clock, Monday to Friday. Call that program. You so want to promote your administration. Call that program and say what you have to say. Be honest with yourself. Come on, where were you all the time? That's what you're doing for $1,600? What I collecting in 1 month and you have to work 3.5 months to get it. And thanks of the Kate Mitchell and the new National Party, I am collecting that now. So do what you could. Do as much as what you could. I want everybody to know it's $1,600 you've been paid to do what you're doing. Mr. Pierre, don't let that caller come to the Real program and distract you. That is what he's doing. You see how he just start up, Mr. Pierre? He coming up with something nice and then he pushing in his agenda. But we're not stupid. I am not stupid. I know what is your intention. Keep your $1,600 and pull it. Go somewhere else with it. Mr. Pierre, have a good day.
Thank you, caller. We have to, in Grenada, we're not going on a good route. The government, the position the government take, the NDC government take, is not good and is not acceptable. Over the last 10 years, I've said I thought the NNP tried. They had press conferences after every cabinet meeting. They was interacting with people and they was answering questions, particularly during the period of COVID-19. The Minister of Education, Mr. Steele, and I always saw Mr. Steele and Ms. Otway move out from the political front line. I believe these two people, I would have loved them to remain. Mr. Bowler, I like the way they're able to interact with the public. We have to be tolerant to one another. We can't follow the Prime Minister. The Prime Minister is a political lunatic. When he said the only reason why NNP getting is because he don't know who the real NDC is, that statement come from a lunatic. We can't be like that. We have to be more tolerant to dissenting views. Yes, caller, welcome. I take a lot of issue with Traoré in Africa. These leaders overthrow the country. They might have nice ideas, but they lock up all who oppose them. All the people who lock up Traoré is in jail. They take advantage on the women. Some of them have to run from the country. And irrespective of all the nice ideas they have, after 10, 12 years, the people turn against them. Deacon Mitchell did the same thing in Grenada. Couldn't lock up anybody. But he's searching for green blood in the public service. And as a result of that, they're making blunder after blunder after blunder. We as a people have to be tolerant. Not because NDC is bitter and retributive and firing NNP and robbing the bank. And you don't want the NNP government to come and do that. That's why it's important for me to object against this thing. I don't want NNP government NNP ministers in a government taking money from the Grenada Development Bank by illegal means. So I strongly advocate that Parliament must discuss the subject. And the only group to bring it in the Parliament is the NNP, Peter David, the farmers' representative in the Senate, the private sector representative, the labor representative. They should object to these ministers and the director or directors of the board taking money from the Grenada Development Bank illegally. Members of the NNP, when the NDC call and they try to promote the party, you call and bring points to counter. That is a discussion. Bring points to counter. You tolerate them, but you bring points to counter. If the NDC say that NNP was not doing anything for 23 years, tell them the list of things that was done. 10,000 toilet. The Imani program that benefit over 3,000 to 4,000. The best program ever instituted post 1967 to give people a second chance. Tell them about the stadium. Tell them about the fact that the government managed the country so well that when NDC come in power, they had they met a pregnant treasury. They made a government insure the country against disaster. And they negotiated from Saudi Arabia over 100 million. And unpaid claims in the treasury was at negligible level. Let them know the facts. The NDC fired 31 workers from Grand Bay Estate. We did our homework. we found out 19 of them was hardline NDC. So NDC re-employed 20. That is why we call this government poor people terrorists and vultures. And we dare them to take us on. I look for members of the NDC to have discussion with. They just run. When you meet them in the rum shop, they can't stand up. And even on Facebook, if you go to my page on Facebook, I interact with them. Most of them that speak on Facebook have to hide their face. They mask their face. They hide their identity. They kind of shame. They cannot defend the corruption that exists inside there. I've listened to my cousin Blash attack me. I don't bother with that. I know cousin Blash is the newest radicalized member of NDC. I want him macho. Last time I asked him 1 or 2 questions, but otherwise I don't bother with that. Because once you decide to take the position I do, the NDC going to come after you. They have a yellow list. So I couldn't get fertilizer. And I didn't really want to bother because I know they're not give me. But I went to collect fertilizer for a farmer. My name not on the list. I just dealing with that issue. I've just written the Public Workers Union because they throw me out of the medical health plan. And I write them a letter now asking for the list, the names of the people they throw out. I want to go and look for them. That's all I'm interested in. I need departure lunch. But I know that many of the people that they throw out, because they were not able to, the excuse they gave, they were not able to communicate with me. They said they changed their service provider. And as a result, they tried to get on to members. But they were not able to get on to me. So while they continue to collect my money, they throw me out of the medical plan. And I know as you get older, you are an inconvenience to this young breed of individuals. But I am concerned about all the elderly people and other people they throw. So in several weeks now, I want a list to go and look for them. So I've written them a letter. In the meantime, I'm buying lottery ticket, hoping to win a money, so I could get a lawyer from outside Grenada, because I start not to trust our lawyers here. I think our lawyers here, more and more, losing integrity. And as we come to the end of the program, we're back with you tomorrow again, between 12 and 1. And always remember, you could introduce any topic, and we will entertain you. We just encourage people. Let us be respectful. Let us recognize that we have to continue discussion. Thank you very much.
On 91.9 and 91.5, join the talk, we keep it light up. Real FM, ride the frequency. Talking truth, talking change, talking all that's real. With Francis Pierre at the wheel.